Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with the Oakland Raiders. It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep, and he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. This is the former Jet and Brown, Isaiah Crowell. And he's going to lose yard. Here, back to his own 18.
A loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 18-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now the first-round pick from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
Hey, box truck.
Throwing his car on 3rd down. He gets it to Brown, complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
4th down.
Here's the Raiders punter now. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. This is taken at about the 14. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10.
At their own 28-yard line.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Here's Dalvin Cook, 3rd year back from Florida State. Room here to run. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. They run again on 1st down. Cook. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 34. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Gun. Watch the slant. Motion.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Jahan, 54 Mike. Two. Get the ball right here. Let's go. Mike's 54.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins. He completes it to Abdullah. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. And the Raiders have got him. Markel Lee drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long.
Gun.
Cousins to throw for it on 4th. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Maurice Hurst, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Eric Kendricks, the Vikings' leading tackler a season ago, in on the stop. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Carr. It's complete to Brown, right side. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. That one good for 26 and a 1st down. The Raiders into the red zone for the first time. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Josh Jacobs, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And that makes it 7-zip Oakland.
Makes the score Raiders 7, Vikings nothing.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And last time out, went for it on fourth down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on fourth down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Cook. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Extra point up and good by Bailey, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. To throw on 3rd down, Carr. Wide open receiver complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Check, 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 check. Check. Hey, check 24. What's 24? Jim. Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Now a give to Jacobs running right. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Now on 2nd and 13. Carr. Got a man. It's Brown. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
I'm going back to you. Alert 3. Alert 3. Big dash. Come. 80 weapon. Watch the right on 2. Hey, Delta.
Carr now to throw. And that is incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down.
Spot. No. Be good. No. Off.
Gun.
They run, Cook, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Jahan, 180.
Watch my 4. Check pass. Watch the safety crease.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. It's brought in by Dodson. Josh Dodson, the 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. Josh Dodson, his second touchdown on the season, and the Vikings have taken the lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. That 7-0 lead in there is short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause.
Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Throwing, Cousins, and down he goes, brought down a Raider sack. Markel Lee able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running.
And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Well, there was a little extra pressure with that one because it was 3rd down. He didn't care. He snagged it with one hand like it was routine.
The key is to make a play in a tough situation. Doesn't matter how. And in this case, one-handed gets it done. Terrific play for us to watch.
This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34.
At their own 34-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Now, last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. On 3rd down, Carr. And he's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Antonio Brown, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And they're back within a touchdown at 21-14. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And, Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match at a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Cousins setting up the screen for Cook. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Vikings. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they had maybe given up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
Barely got the extra point, and the lead now up to 14. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told by my coaches previously that the intelligent approach, go ahead and run out the clock and stop.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Everson Griffin on the sack. Taken to the 4th round back in 2010. What a steal. Throwing on 2nd and long. Carr, he's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. 20, 10, and he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Antonio Brown. As the first half is winding down, as his guys are back within a single score. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far and fun to watch. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
Mike's 5-4.
Hey, seam 6. Seam 6. One time.
From the 29, Cousins. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And that'll make it 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now Cook. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage to the 35. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we'll head down to Orlando. That's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Daniel Carlson set to kickoff.
It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
It's 2nd and 8.
Switch.
The first run for the backup, Abdullah. And some space here. And he's going to have this down deep into Oakland territory. And he'll wind up taking this all the way down to the Raiders' 13.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Kill. Hey, turn it up.
Gun.
You.
Gun.
Keep it up, defense. Keep it up.
They go back to Abdullah on first. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. The excellent play last time is followed by a much more routine gain of 3.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. On 2nd and 7, Cousins. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against.
And this is caught at the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Antonio Brown, 78 yards, as his guys are back within a single score. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will get him one closer. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Well, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. On the carry, it's Cook. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. Well, it's caught on the right side of Smith. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Hey, watch the shoot. Kill. 22 jet bomber. Wide. Safety screaming. Yellow.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. He's going to let this one go deep. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. Fair to say the secondary play, whichever side you're on, hasn't really been a glowing exhibition. So far, but a nice job there to prevent a long completion.
I agree with you, but at some point, someone had to make a play and try and stop this exhibition of almost speed racing that we've been watching, huh?
Yeah, it has been quarterback and receiver dominated. They failed once in this spot earlier, but the offense will stay out to go for it on 4th down.
Mike 50. Here we go.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. I mean, that's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
They'll keep it on the ground. Richard. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
Hey, Charlie.
Here's Carr. Man open left side is Brown. I tell you, he is closing in on a 300-yard receiving game now. He's maybe one catch away as he's got a first there. Carr now nearing the 300-yard mark with still a quarter to play. It's 1st and 10. A first down run not going to get him a whole lot. Maybe a yard. Yeah, it looks like just 1 yard there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 17-yard line.
On 2nd and 9, Carr. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
Incomplete. Harrison Smith on coverage.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Throwing now is Carr. Got a man. It's complete. Williams. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through picking up the first. Like Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams came to the Raiders in March. Came up the coast from L.A. where he caught 41 balls last year with the Chargers. His best year was 2016 when the Chargers were still in San Diego. Over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, and the Raiders really have high hopes for this 27-year-old receiver. He's going to fire one deep into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
Able to push his way through. Still going. He's got a first down past the 30. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, 81 yards. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. That was a pretty impressive touchdown play. Those broken tackles, those weren't easy to get by.
No, they really weren't. And they've had trouble tackling throughout this ball game. But on this particular play, how about that move? Or I should say moves with an S, because I don't care if you were a great tackler. You had trouble getting him on the ground on that play.
Extra point up and good by Bailey. And the lead now up to 14. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line.
At their own 33-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Forced out to his left. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down. Derek Carr, 3 fourth-quarter comebacks for the Raiders last year, and they only won 4 games total, so they've got some experience dealing with tight ones. He's going to rifle one. It got his man complete. An excellent pickup at 34 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. To throw, it's Carr. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. That is caught by Brown. Touchdown, Raiders. Antonio Brown, 32 yards. as his guys are back within a single score. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Set the tone, defense.
Gun.
Cousins. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. A first down throw for Cousins. He's got Smith here. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Is that not the very definition of a tough yard gain?
Now, is that one where as the receiver you go to your quarterback and say, why'd you even throw that?
Yeah, I think you do, and I think you wonder what type of a route are you going to send me on that only 1 yard's going to be the result? If I'm going to go in there and take contact, let's go ahead and get something out of it, not just 1 yard.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. They run with Abdullah. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 11 yards there, first down.
But they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another first down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively you've got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now's the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think you sit back and wait because they can take a lot of time off the clock between plays and run 3 to 4 and really put you in a stressful spot.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 42-yard line. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. It was Maurice Hurst who got him down.
Gun.
Throwing on 2nd down. Cousins. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A gain of 13. It's a first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Cousins. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by the rookie from Clemson, Trayvon Mullen. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. A big play that time for the Raiders. Give him 55 yards on the ground. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll look to throw. He'll buy some time right. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Wow, between last week and this week, that's now 8 interceptions. 5 a week ago, now 3 here.
Well, he is so lucky that one of the defense coordinators I played for, a man named Ken Donahue, is not there right now. Because he saw that happen during his coaching career, and he grabbed the quarterback in the midst of a streak like this and said, tell you what, son, why don't you throw it to the defensive guys, and let's see if our receivers can intercept it.
Well, he's got to figure something out because the current formula is not working. Throwing here, Cousins. And complete, right side to Cook. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time.
The Raiders take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They're down here in a 1-score game. At the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge... And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Anthony Barr in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Carr to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Anthony Barr able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Well, we saw a close game that kept us on the edge of our seats down to that final whistle. And right before that final whistle, defense with one last exclamation mark there, getting the sack to end it.
I love how you phrased it because we were waiting to see what would happen. Obviously, we thought something would happen downfield. Instead, it happens in the offensive backfield, and that's your ball game.
So for Minnesota, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for Oakland, they will fall to a similar mark at 1-2. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching